Hi, everybody. Hope it's going to be a great day for you and you have lots of things to look forward to. It's raining outside today here and the sun is not out, but it's still going to be a great day. I'm meeting a friend for lunch and we're going to have lots to talk about and lots to catch up. So I'm just kind of getting ready because when I do go out and do things, I'll put some makeup on and I'll get ready. And like I said, I love makeup. I love everything makeup. So I started off by putting a lip balm on that my friend Karen makes, and it's called Pucker Up. You can find her on Facebook, and her company's name is One Spoiled Mama. She's a beautiful person, just does so much for our community. But it's made with jojoba oil, beeswax, and a lot of really great essential oils. So I'll start by lining my lips, and this is, I like natural. I'm more of a natural person. This is a lip liner by Huda Beauty, and it's called Honey Beige. So I'll start by doing this. So I thought today I would be talking about my life. It's like a kind of like a glow and tell, and it's like my life in color, and because it's very colorful. Even though this lip liner is not, my life is full of color, as you can see my painting back here. It was about, I think it was 2013 or 2015. My husband was out of town and I was watching a movie one night. I don't even know what it was about, but it was a terrifying show. It was like a murder mystery. I never watch murder mysteries. Can't stand them. They terrify me. And I know that's how life is. So I choose to watch uplifting things instead of scary things, because life is hard enough. But I chose that night, then when my husband was out of town, to watch this movie. Well, at the end of the movie, I'm not sure what happened, but what I do remember is all these unmarked cars, black SUVs, lots of black SUVs. I don't know, they probably got the bad guy, but that's not what stuck out. It was the black SUVs in the ending, and it was terrible. So I didn't even sleep that night. The next morning, let's say it's 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm finishing up coffee and just getting ready for the day, but hadn't quite gotten there yet. And our dog had been barking his head off, and I'm like, what is going on? Well, I heard a car coming down our road. Now, our road is about a half a mile. So if you're gonna come to our home, we are either A, expecting you, or B, you're lost. Or C, you are really looking for some trouble. So I ran to the front door to look to see what car is at the end of the road. And it was a black SUV. And I thought, oh my gosh, what is the government doing on my property? I'm here by myself with my dog, and I'm gonna protect it. So we keep a shotgun by the front door. We get armadillos that tear up our garden and they tear up our yard, and then you've got all these holes in the yard and you could fall and break your neck. So we do a relocation program for armadillos. So anyhow, back to the black SUV story. The black SUV, and it was a black SUV that was going down to the end of our road. The end of our road, you have to turn around on our property to get out. It's a dead end road. So I grabbed the shotgun, grabbed my dog, and I went running out to the end of our driveway. I guess this is me. And I wasn't even thinking. I had real colorful boxer shorts on. I had a tank top on. My hair was disheveled, and I threw a pair of Crocs on. Very, I don't know, not the most becoming moment of my life. So I ran to the end of the road. Ran to the end of the road to greet the black SUV. Stopped him in the middle of the road. He saw that I meant business. I know how to. I know how to shoot. If you don't know how to shoot, you shouldn't have a gun. So I had my rifle and I was out there and I stopped the car. The window went down and I just said directly to this person's eyes, I'm like, hey, I said, are you lost? And he said, no. He goes, I'm just driving around. I said, well, what brings you out to this part? He says, he goes, I'm filming a movie. And I said, okay. And again, I was very suspicious because of the movie that I watched, and it was a horrible movie. So we started making some chit chat conversation, just, pleasantries. And then he finally said, he goes, I'm out here and I'm admiring your property. I said, well, thank you. I appreciate that. And then I let my guard down a little bit and I said, hi, my name is Maureen. My friends call me Mo. I said, my name is Maureen. He goes, well, it's nice to meet you. He goes, my name is Michael Smith. I said, well, it's nice to meet you, Michael. Not even putting anything together. I'm still worried about what's going on in this black SUV that I couldn't see. I said, so what brings you here? He says, well, we're filming a movie. And I'm like, oh, okay, And again, more pleasantries. And he made the comment to me, he goes, hey, that's a nice gun you got. It's a nice stick. And I thought, oh, he's pro Second Amendment. Okay, we're doing good. We're on the same page. So we had a little conversation and he was telling me a little bit about the movie. And I asked him, am I gonna recognize you in this movie? He said, yeah, you will. He goes, I'm the main character. I said, oh, fantastic. Well, good for you. Again, I don't even know what movie's going on here. There were black SUVs going up and down our road. There were cargo carrying Mercedes-Benz that were passenger vans. We just saw them going up and down our road, not really having a clue as to what was going on. However, we were hearing, we thought bombs going off. I don't know, like if you need a dirt pit where, construction workers go to get dirt, you gotta, excavate, and I don't know what they do, but we kept hearing bomb-like noises, probably for the past week. Well, he said it was a Civil War movie. And then I said, are you guys the ones shooting off? He goes, yeah, we're shooting cannons. And I'm like, oh, that makes sense. So again, I'm watching a scary movie with black SUVs and listening to cannons going off. So I said, so you guys are the reason. Well, we were never notified. Well, he told me that the movie company, by law, they have to put notification in everybody's mailbox saying that here's what's going on, and you are going to be hearing cannons going off at certain hours, and this is the reason why. Well, they missed our mailbox because we had no idea. Anyhow, the conversation went on, and I said, you're the main character, so I'm sure you're working a lot. I said, but if you ever want to take a break or you want a glass of wine or a cup of coffee, I said, you're welcome to come over here. My husband, he'd love to meet you, because this is in our area. He says, well, it was nice meeting you. And he went on his way. And this conversation went on for about, I'd say 25 minutes, maybe 20. I don't know, could have been 5 for all I know. I was just in protected mode. So I was talking to my girlfriend that night on the phone. She goes, Maureen, how was your day? Since Bob's been gone, what are you doing? I said, Cam, you're never gonna believe this. I told her the whole story and she started Googling it. She goes, let's Google and see what's going on. She goes, Maureen, they're making a movie out there. I said, yeah, I know. She goes, the movie's called A Free State of Jones and it's a Civil War movie. I said, oh, okay. And I said, yeah, I met this guy and his name was Michael something and he's the main character. And she Googled, she goes, Maureen, do you have any idea who that was? I'm like, no. She goes, that was Matthew McConaughey. I'm having a conversation with Matthew McConaughey, not even, just clueless. The guy probably thought I just fell off a turnip truck. Well, let him think what he wanted because I'm still protecting my property. She goes, didn't you get his autograph? Didn't you ask him in? Didn't you ask him all these questions? Did he ever say anything about this movie or that? I said, Cam, the guy lost probably 40 pounds. He's full beard. The guy is filthy as anything. And he is on our property. So she just laughed about it. And so anyhow, and that was like a brief moment, a brief encounter. Well, I remember telling my cousin Terry this, and she just thought that was the greatest situation because if you know me, you know me. And I kind of live a little on the edge. And I would have, I don't know. I made it known that I was protecting my home and my barking dog was right next to me. So Terry just got the biggest kick out of that. It's just kind of what it is. And so that brief moment in time, that interlude turned into a lifetime memory, or it's been 10, 12 years. And I was talking to Terry and she reminded me of that because so much goes on in my life, just like everybody else, so much goes on in our lives. You can't remember something that happened 10 years ago. But this was something that really stuck out with Terry and she just remembered it. So anyhow, that was my memory. And it was just fun to know that he came down our road and I'm thinking the FBI is going to come get me. I've done nothing. I'm innocent, but that movie had me terrified that somebody's coming down. And this was the time when Matthew McConaughey was driving SUVs for a car company. I don't know if it was Lincoln, Cadillac, I don't know, but he was always driving in it. So of course, he's driving the car that, you know, he's marketing. But I saw it as the car that was in the movie the night before. So that's my story. And so that moment in time has made a lifetime memory for me, my cousin, my friends. You know, they bring it up and they're always wanting me to tell it. And I can't remember all the details other than I'm protecting my property. And it was a black SUV at the end of my road. And my husband was not, he was not in town. You know, and then it explained the cannons, and I just thought, oh my gosh, you know, what else? And this was after Katrina. So after Hurricane Katrina, there was noises and guns and everything that was going off. So we all deal with a little post-traumatic stress from certain situations, you know, and Katrina was one of them. So you just start putting all this stuff together. I don't care if Hurricane Katrina happened to us, I think it was in 2005, August 29th, 2005. So even if it was 10 years later, you still remember every moment of Hurricane Katrina and every memory that you made during that time. You don't forget about things like that. So I'm meeting my friend today for lunch, and that's why I've got this curler in my hair, because I need a little height. But I thought I would share something that I do just to have a little glow up, a little glam, a little glammy glow. So there's this Armani color, and it's like a one and done. You just put it on your eye and then you're done. If you just want to like throw something on or put yourself together. So I just like put a little bit there to cover up like my dark spots. You know, the color goes in a little bit, you know, we lose some of our color and all the veins start coming out. And then it's liquid and you just work it real quick, and it kind of helps brighten your eye and lighten it up. Maybe you can't tell the difference, but I certainly can. And it's by Armani, and it's just really nice. Put it back on, put it up there, one swipe, two swipes, however much you want. And then you blend it out, and it dries down pretty quickly. And then, so that's the bright, that's the lighter shade, and then I'll take a darker color, and because I have hooded eyes, you know, I want to lift it up a tad. I'll take a little bit of this brown Armani. I don't know what color it is, but I really like it. And I'll put a little dot, and blend it to help with this hooded eye. I'm not sure if you can tell, but it kind of helps lift your eye. Blend, 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 blend. And then you bring it all together, kind of make a V. At least that's what I've been told on the YouTube videos that I watch. So it gave me a little bit of dimension. It helped brighten my eyes a little bit. So I think, maybe it didn't. You can have your opinion. Put my glasses back on and let's see. It really did. Now after I line my lips or I put mascara on, it'll even look a little different. Take out this big curler in my hair. Don't you remember when we had those, what were they? I don't know, they were the pink rollers, and you'd snap them in, and you know, when we were little, we'd put them in and sleep in them, and there's no way you could sleep in them. So these things have come a long way. So just that one curl, this one curler that I put in my hair, gave my hair a little bit of height. So now I've got my eyeshadow, my little curler for my hair, my lipstick. I'm ready to go out and face the day, and I'm ready to go out and make some more memories. Everybody have a great day. Make sure you go out and do something for yourself or for somebody else. Take that moment and make it memorable for yourself or for someone else who really may need lifted up. Everybody have a great day. Thank you.